Hello. Today I'm going to be explaining how to do balanced symbol equations using algebra. This is Bottomley's method, and also look at the lovely green I've picked for the background. Very good green. So first, why balanced symbol equations? Conservation of mass, that's the big rule. Stuff can't be destroyed or created. So if you have a weird equation like H2 plus O2 creates H2O, you've just lost an atom of oxygen. You can't do that in the real world. So this method is to solve that. Another big rule, so there's little subscripts like CO2, there's a subscript for two, there's a subscript for 2. You can't change that. You can't just put atoms in molecules because that would make it a different molecule. So if you change the subscript, you'd end up with, for example, in CO2, if you change the subscript, you get CO, you get carbon monoxide, you might die. So instead, you gotta change the number of actual molecules rather than the atoms. So here is the explaining the method, the actual part. First you get an equation. For example, aluminium plus oxygen makes aluminium oxide. Then you add coefficients, which is the little numbers. So you get A times aluminium, so A times Al, plus B times O2 creates C times Al2O3. I've put brackets there to make it a bit easier to understand. And you figure out the relationship of A and B with C. So you figure out what A's got to do with C, what B's got to do with C. You're just trying to relate the left side to the right side. So you can see that, so you just count the molecules. So you count 1 aluminium, so you put 1A. You count 2 aluminiums on the right side, so that's 2C, because C is the coefficient there. Then you do 2B, because there's 2 oxygens on the left side, and that's 3C, because there's 3 oxygens on the right side. So then after you've got that, you just assign any coefficient with the value 1, or you can do any value, but I like 1. So generally the one on the right hand side, just to make it easier to figure out the other ones. And then from that, you know that A is 2C. So in this example, I've set C as 1, so 2C would be 2. And then here for 2B equals 3C, therefore 1B equals 1.5C, which is 1.5. And then you get rid of decimals because you can't really have half of an atom, or half of a molecule really in this case. So bam. With 0.5s you can just times that by 2, but if you get like different decimals then you might have to work with fractions. That's a lot easier. So here is an easy example. Also, I am answering questions in the comments because I don't really get comments on my videos, so I'm sure I'll be able to help you. So H2 plus O2 creates H2O, but that's like the first little thing. You've lost an oxygen. So you add coefficients. A times H2 plus B times O2 creates C times H2O. So from that, you can figure out that 2A equals 2C because there's 2 hydrogens on the left side and 2 hydrogens on the right side, so they have to be the same amount of hydrogens. And 2B equals 1C because 2 oxygens, 1 oxygen, but they've got to be the same, so yeah. So I've assigned C again, so it'd be 1. So that's 1 H2 plus 2 O2 equals 1 H2O. Nice and easy. You don't have to multiply anything. Just put it there. So that's the easy example. Now a harder example is oh god, what is that? That's an equation. I can't remember what it was. That shows how bad I am at chemistry. ACH4 plus BO2 makes C CO2 plus D H2O. So this is harder because it's got 4 coefficients, obviously. So for this one, you can see that there's the same amount of carbons. So there's 1 carbon on both sides, so A equals C. And also 4A equals 2D, because there's 4 hydrogens and 2 hydrogens on the left side. And then this one's a bit difficult because there's multiple, on the right side there's two molecules that contain oxygen. So you just add them together without altering the thing. So you get 2B, because there's 2 oxygens, equals 2C, because there's 2 oxygens in that molecule, plus D, because there's 1 oxygen in that molecule. So from that, I set C again to be 1, because it's a nice easy one. So A equals C, so A equals 1, and to get D, 4A equals 2D, so 4 times 1 equals 2 times D, so 4 divided by 2 is 2, and then to get B, you do 2C, which is 2, plus D, which was also 2, so that creates 4. So then you just get rid of the 1s, and then bam, that's your equation. Yeah, that's the end. Good luck. It's probably easier to do trial and error, but whatever. Yeah, bam.